Car shopping's confusing. They have all these terms like list price, dealer price, invoice. New or used car, go to TrueCar.com. More confident car buying experience. You can save $3,000 off MSRP. Rachel Bonetta is joining us today, filling in for Christine Leahy, who is sick. So, I always said I was a hypocrite. I try to be consistent on this show. I'm not always right, but I'm going to be consistent. I see a lot of fans that you hate something one week, but you love it the next week because it benefits your team. You're a fanboy. Be consistent. Like if you hate this call in sports, then you hate it all the time. And if you love this part of sports, you should love it all the time. Don't play to your favorite team. Be consistent. That's all I try to be. There are certain things I don't like in sports, and there are certain things I do like in sports. I try to be consistent. What I have always said about player mobility in the NBA, I'd be a total hypocrite not to support player mobility. I've moved all over the country. Why can't NBA players? Why? Attorneys move over the country, doctors move around the country, salespeople, managers. I work in the media. I've had bosses tell me I'm never leaving. An hour later, they're off to Boston. I am totally pro-player mobility. Fans, though, are hypocrites. They whine that Kevin Durant left us at Oklahoma City, but you're okay when Carmelo and Paul George arrive from other teams. Fans are hypocrites. LeBron James and I agree on player mobility. Here's LeBron talking about the Blake Griffin trade.
When a player gets traded, they was doing what's best for the franchise, but when a player decides to leave, he's not loyal, he's a snake, he's not committed. That's just that's the narrative of how it goes. So I know that firsthand.
Darn right he does. So this is what I always said about Kevin Durant. He comes into the NBA in Seattle, billionaire Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks. You're a Sonic. An hour later, he trades it to Clay Bennett, who promises Seattle will never leave. An hour later, he's in Oklahoma City. They have James Harden. We got Harden, Westbrook, KD, you guys will be together forever. An hour later, they trade James Harden. So Kevin Durant came into this league probably as a loyal kid, but he watched two billionaires sell the franchise, say one thing, do another. So Kevin Durant's like, why can't I leave? I've seen us fire coaches who were good, let go of players who were good, leave cities that were good. This is why I have no problem with players leaving. Now, I'm not a Blake Griffin fan. But Blake Griffin was told Clipper for life when he signed 5 months ago. I thought the contract was egregious. I'd never pay Blake Griffin that much. But they told him Clipper for life. Now they trade him to Detroit. Nothing against Detroit, but living in Brentwood, California to Detroit, it's a different lifestyle. Western Conference, Eastern Conference, warm weather, cold weather. Blake Griffin's a celebrity. He loves L.A. He loves the life, and now he's playing for the Pistons. My wife's from Michigan. I like the state, but I'm just saying it's not L.A. when it comes to weather and culture and celebrity and all that stuff, and he's a big deal here. So this is why I always defend the athletes. By the way, I do not think it's a coincidence at all. So yesterday I led my show with a source that I had telling me that the Lakers and LeBron, which many people thought, we talked about it, but a lot of people thought Lakers aren't good enough, LeVar Ball, LeBron's not going to join this circus. I mean, I've been talking about this thing for 6 months, but I kind of cooled on it because I think LeVar's a bit of a circus, Lakers aren't good enough. I was told Thursday as I was boarding a plane, I led my show with this yesterday, the LeBron-Laker thing is back on. It is a very real thing. And I said, I'm not going to sell my source out, but, Los Angeles, gossip is commerce here. In Pittsburgh, gossip's gossip. In Detroit, gossip's gossip. In Los Angeles, gossip is business. TMZ, E! Entertainment, Perez Hilton. You make money on gossip here. The Chip Kelly stuff, 3.5 weeks before he got hired by UCLA, I came on the air and I said Chip Kelly to UCLA is a real thing. This is a celebrity gossip town. There's money to be made with gossip. And if LeBron decides to go to Houston, and I think it's a three-team race. It's Lakers, Houston, Cleveland. I don't think the Clippers have a shot. I think they have a shot. That's fine. And I celebrate them going for it, getting rid of Blake and starting over and dumping salary. I celebrate that. But I will say this. Do you think it's a coincidence, John Goulet, that on the day I come out and say, I'm hearing things on people in the Brontourage are starting to make plans out west, and 6 hours later, Blake Griffin gets traded in their pursuit for LeBron. Is it possible, John, that we are sharing the same sourcing, the Clippers and I?
Well, that's more possible than the idea that Doc Rivers and Steve Ballmer heard the show and said, we got to make a move. We have to get LeBron. So I will give you that it's possible you guys have the same source.
First of all,
however unlikely.
On Basketball Matters, Doc Rivers listens to me a lot. Not in this instance, perhaps. But my point is that a lot of times you share kind of the same source. And I think in this instance, they're hearing things from people I'm hearing things from. I mean, we all know this is the way the world works. Like in any industry, it can be law, it can be medicine, it can be tech, it can be media, it can be entertainment. There's a small circle of influence that everybody listens to. And I think my source could be their source, that on the day I mentioned the LeBron LA thing is gaining steam, 6 hours later, they clear the books.
So, Colin, you said you got a call what was it, last week?
Last Thursday as I was boarding a plane.
Right. So
and my two buddies are with me. My two buddies, Eric and Dan, who are going with me, I told them, blood brothers here, don't give it up. And I showed them my text, and they're like, ooh.
So this is from Woj tweeted this.
What? When did Woj tweet something?
It was last night. He said this last night.
Oh, I have not seen
Hold
this.
on. He said that talks on this trade started 6 days ago. But it accelerated last night. If you do the math on that, it's the day before you found out.
Oh, there you go. It's amazing. See, this stuff's... Oh, here it is, the Woj bomb. Talks on the Clippers-Pistons started 6 days ago. So essentially, they heard it the day before I got the call, which they should. They're in the industry. So the day before I got the call, they started working on this deal to clear books for LeBron. God, I love this show. It's literally, I feel like we're a startup technology. We're breaking new ground every show. It's amazing. Very exciting. By the way, everybody calls Tom Brady arrogant. I always hear this all the time. Patriots are arrogant. Patriots are jerks. They're no good. So Tom Brady does this Tom versus Time documentary. And he kind of lets you see his kids, and he lets you see his wife, and he lets you see his house and all that stuff, and his workout and his diet and blah, blah, blah. And then some Boston radio jerk calls his young daughter, quote, an annoying pissant, unquote. Tom, again, has a chance to be a jerk, has a chance to be cocky. Did you see Tom Brady's quote today on this? He said, quote, I certainly hope that guy isn't fired. I would hate for that to happen. Sometimes we say things we shouldn't say, or we make mistakes, and that happens. Again, in a world now, Twitter is basically a 24/7 digital beheading. Everybody's trying to get everybody fired. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. Every sports website, gotcha, 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 gotcha. Fire, 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 fire. Tom Brady, here in a moment, doesn't want the radio scrub to be fired. We all make mistakes. And even when Tom went on radio the next morning, he didn't have to go on radio. He could have had the PR person call. Tom Brady he didn't need to even go on WEEI radio after somebody called his daughter that. But what did he do? He went on the radio and said, I'm disappointed. I'm a dad. I was told by the PR people. And, here's Tom being dignified again.
Stacey had told me that someone had made a comment about my daughter or something like that.
Yeah. Tom, we were just talking about it was Alex Reamer.
I tried to come on this show for many years and showed you guys a lot of respect. I've always tried to come on and, do a good job for you guys. So, it's very disappointing when you hear that, certainly with my daughter or any child. I'll obviously evaluate whether I want to come on this show again. So I really don't have much to say this morning.
That's fine. I understand.
So
that's totally fine.
I will, maybe I'll speak with you guys some other time.
We understand.
Have a good day.
All right, Tom, you too.
Total dignity in class, not trying to get anybody fired. Dollar Shave Club, everything you need, hair, face, skin, shower. Give the club a try today. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Colin, COLIN. Hour 3, Tony Gonzalez, Alex Smith next.
My parents traveled around the country and did so many different things to try to get to this level. The coolest moment of my first Daytona 500 was walking out with my dad. It was a very special moment for me, something I remember. About 30 laps later, I stuffed the head out of the wall. Just kind of had mixed emotions that day.